The intended use of this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and guests independently, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Updog Challenge Incorporated, its sponsors, or any other partnered organizations. Updog Challenge Incorporated does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of any opinions expressed. In no way should the information provided during the Sweet Spot and Updog podcast be considered veterinary, medical, legal, or professional advice. At all times, the advice of your personal professional should supersede any information provided, derived, or inferred from listening to this podcast.
Ready, set, go.
Welcome to the Sweet Spot, an Updog podcast. I'm Andre Morissette.
And I am Jack Faley. We are your hosts today. And boy, do we have a heck of a show for you today. Today, we are going to talk to you guys about summer. Summer's here, and you guys know what summer's all about. Summer's all about beta testing these new games that our Updog community has put together. So it's pretty exciting. We have from June 1st through the remainder of the year to test out some amazing games. We want to tell you all about it during this podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna cover some of our favorite games and kind of go over the rules and the strategies, and we can brainstorm back and forth and see which games have the most meat on the bone, let's say, to become one of our Updog games. So what do you think, Jack? Do you want to start?
Yeah, let me just give a quick recap of this whole beta submission, beta testing, what we decided to do. The Updog team, we were going to put out a new game. We were thinking about what might be the next game that the Updog team would put out. And I just had an idea and I ran it by the team and we kind of tweaked it and we liked it. And that was like, hey, why not, instead of using the games that the Updog team has come up with, why not let our community think about what would you like to see? Do you have ideas? Maybe you've been playing a game secretly in your local club that everybody really likes that you'd like to share with the world. And so we put out a open call for game submissions towards the beginning of the year it was. And I think that the game submission deadline was the end of the month in March, right before UpDiff. And so I believe it's 14 different games that were submitted. I asked everybody to submit it on the new rules template, and most people either did it exactly that way or sort of did it that way. I accepted all of them, even though a couple of them were sort of not necessarily in the new format, but they're good enough that I think people can read through and understand. When I went through the approval process was not, do I think your game's a good game? Because that's up to the people to decide. I just simply looked at it and said, like, if somebody were to read these rules, can they make sense of it? Can they figure out how to run this? Is there a score sheet? Like, can I actually beta test this game in my club? If the answer was yes, then your game was approved for beta testing. And also, of course, did it seem dog safe? Were there any issues where we thought it may not be safe for the dog? So anyway, long story short, they were all approved, all 14 of them. And so beginning June 1st, your club will have access to these games and we'll be able to start trying them out. We thought it would be fun to just kind of share 4 of them with you. I looked over 2 of the rules in detail. Dre looked over 2 of the game rules in detail, and we thought it would be fun to share with you. Warning, if you're in your car just listening, it might get a little abstract if you don't have a visual. So you may want to listen on YouTube for this one so that you can kind of see the field and stuff like that, because that'll help us as we describe the games. We're not going to go into like huge detail with the rules or anything like that. This is just like, hey, this one's pretty cool. Check it out. And you need to go grab it and read the full rules. Like don't take mine or Dre's summary of the game as like all the rules. Make sure you read through the rule document carefully. Towards the end of this podcast, I will be talking to you about how after you beta test a game, how do you give feedback to the author of that game, the creator of that game? Because the idea is throughout the season, you want to ask questions and give feedback about these games so that the creators can make them even better. And then at the end, we can decide which one might be the game which one or ones perhaps. Maybe we can't decide on which one. But if any of these will become an official Updog game, it'll be up to you guys.
They have the power.
That's right. All right. So I'm gonna start with the first game. And by the way, these were kind of randomly picked. I know Dre said our favorite ones, but really, we don't know because we didn't beta test any of these. We just found a couple that caught our eye, that seemed pretty easy
Easy
to,
to explain.
yeah, easy to explain on a podcast without looking at the actual document. And so we're gonna run through a couple of these, and hopefully we just want to get you excited to be like, hey, that one sounds cool. I'm gonna check out all the rest of them. I'm gonna try some of these. It would be cool if every time that you had an event this summer, you beta tested a game, or maybe
Yep.
even two. I think it'd make it exciting for your club as well. All right. So Dre, the first one. Dre does not know anything about the ones that I picked.
Nope.
So this will be new for her. So the questions will be very honest that she's asking me. I'm going to share my screen. All right, Dre, do you see my screen?
Yep.
All right, is it big enough?
I mean, you could, if you could zoom in more, it would fill up more of the black space and it would make it easier to see the, yeah, there you go. All right, reverse and go.
All right, this game is by Kristen Angel. I believe she submitted actually two games. This is one of her games, and it's called Reverse and Go. And I just found this to be a really interesting and fun kind of like theme um, approach. Basically, she took the game of Throw and Go and flipped it around. Normally in Throw and Go, the thrower stands here. Can you see my cursor, Dre?
Yeah,
Like normally the thrower's here, right, on the throwing line.
right. That's what I assumed when I
And
saw it.
and
Yeah.
the dog has all of this area to catch in. Um, she just flipped it. The dog always has to catch here in this catch zone, and
Oh,
all of these things
crazy.
are your throwing zones.
That's a lot of running for
Well,
the
maybe
human.
not necessarily. It just depends on where you decide to start from. Um, so. Your dog, you can have four discs, which is cool.
Hmm.
And it is a 60-second game. And the object of the game, I'm just scrolling up here to make
Is it to
sure that
clear
I
all
was
the zones?
correct. So I can throw from any of these throwing zones. So like if I throw from this zone and I get a catch in the catch zone, I'll get 8 points.
Right.
I throw from this zone, so maybe I can't throw this far. Maybe I can't throw from like the 10 point zone out here. Maybe if I throw from the six, throwing diagonal, that's really only about a 12 or 13-yard throw there. To the catch zone, I could get 6 points for that catch. Now a straight on throw from the bonus throw, again,
Three
remember, keep in
points.
mind
Yeah.
everything's opposite. So
That's like a sweet spot throw.
instead of the bonus throw being worth double, the bonus zone is actually worth half.
Worth half.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
yeah, so everything's like flipped from the original game of Throw and Go. And I can't remember. I read these like a couple days ago. Let me see. I can't remember if you can repeat zones.
Mm. All right, so you could start in any throwing zone on the field, but your dog must start in the same zone as you. And you're throwing where you're throwing from determines how many points the catch is worth. All right. The bonus strip is worth less. There's a passive sweet spot. Can be played on a 3x3 field.
Yeah.
It doesn't say you can't score
Yeah. So it looks like you could
multiple
you could throw from
from the sweet
any
spot and just throw to the
from
catch zone for that 3 points if you want. Just make that three
yeah,
point catch over and over again
yeah,
and go side to side.
you could just be throwing right from here you could be throwing from here and maybe on your last one, run back to the 10 and try and get one from the 10 or something. Like I could see all sorts of strategies here.
Yeah.
And by the way, keep in mind, like all these rules might get tweaked along the way when the creator gets feedback. But right now, I like how this is with very simplistic rules. Remember, in general, the updog rule is if there's not a rule
There's no
against it,
rule. You can do it.
then it's allowed.
Yeah.
So we are considering, since there's no rule here that says you cannot repeat throw zones, that you literally, just like Dre said, you could stand right here and just do 3-pointers into the catch zone. And remember,
Yeah.
you got 4 discs. So you could do like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah. And then go pick
and
them
then
up.
have your dog grab up all 4 discs in their massive jaws and bring it back to
Bring them
you.
all back at once. I know one dog that could do
Yeah.
that.
All right.
Now
Well, anyway,
I wonder
that
how the 3x3 field would go scoring wise. Like which points are gonna it's probably just be the lower points if they played a 3x3 field.
yeah, I would imagine it would just be
I keep
this.
trying to scroll, but I don't have control of it. Is there anything else at the bottom?
So there was the rules, tie-breaking rules. There's a judge's score sheet down at the bottom to show you how to
Yeah.
score.
Yeah, so it
And
doesn't show what the points would be on a 3x3 field.
no, but I mean it can't be
Right.
this
It
because
has to be all the low points.
then there's no catch zone.
Yeah.
So this would have to be the 3x3 right here.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
maximum you could score would be 6
Yeah.
on a 3x3, and then the maximum you can score on the full field would be 10.
Yep.
Okay. I like that it's so simple. I like that it has a lot of different options for different like people with different mobility needs. And when I first looked at it, I was like, oh gosh, this is gonna be so much running for people. But yeah, they
I
could just
think
stand in the closer zones and just throw what they throw. And if they want to move more, they can go out to those far zones and or just if they don't want to move and they throw well, they could just stand back in the far zones and throw. They don't have to move really at all because it doesn't say you can't repeat throwing zones. You could stand in the
right.
10 and throw to the catch zone.
I think if it
You
was
still have to
me,
go get your disc, or the dog has to bring it back.
I would I haven't even played it, so here I am giving a rule
Strategy.
change without playing. But I think it would be interesting to say, kind of like in Spaced Out, like where you can't repeat a catch zone right after.
Yeah,
Like I would say, like you can't repeat the same throw
throwing
zone
zone.
right after. Like so, in other
Right.
words, if I just threw from the 3, I'd have to
You could
switch
to the
and
six
throw
and then
from a
back to the
different
three.
one. So I could then switch over to the 6. Then I could come back to the 3. But
Yeah,
like, I don't know. I think that would add some interesting
yeah,
components to it. But overall, I would play the way the game rules are written first because
yeah.
sometimes you think things in your head and
And then you
then
get
you
out
get out there
there.
and play and you're like, holy crap, this is totally different.
Yeah,
Um, so I encourage you guys check out this one. This one's called Reverse
reverse
and
and go.
Go from Kristen Angel. Nice job, Kristen. All right, let's switch over. Dre, you've got
Yeah.
what's your first one
Three-way
you want to
play.
share?
Three-way play is the first one I want to share. It'll be easier to see it on your screen than on my phone, so that's good.
All right, so this field here is the field. So Dre, tell us about this one. This one
All
is
right,
from
it's from Doug.
okay, Doug from Nova Dog Sports.
Yep. So it sounds like four-way play, right? But it's three-way play. So 3 discs, time limit 60 seconds. It's on the same field as a four-way play field. But instead of the 1, 2, 3, 4 being catch zones, they're throw zones. So what that means is you would basically pick 1, 2, 3, or 4 to throw from,
Okay.
and then
So
you
let's
have
say
to,
I pick zone 3 to throw from.
yeah, then you would have to, your catch zones would then be 1, 2, and 4. And that would be, once you got all 3 of those, that'd be called a triad. That would like clear your triad. And then once you clear your triad, you would move to a different throwing zone. Let's say next time you move to 2.
Okay.
And then you got to do all your throws from 2.
Then
And you
I
only
got
have
to
3
catch
discs
in
instead of 4.
1, 4, and 3.
Yep. And then move it over to one, and then do two, three, and four, and then move to four and do three, two, one. Obviously, you could do that in any order you want. But the objective is to clear all four of the triad zones from one, two, three, and four as throwing zones. And there is a sweet spot sugar rush that happens with a roller also. And I don't know if it needs to be, once we start playing with the rules or whatever, that it needs to be specifically a roller because that might not be safe for some dogs or um,
What's the
you
sweet
might
spot bonus?
if I think it's a roller with a disc and the dog caught in the sweet spot before the tea and time. Let me see. Um, I'm looking at all man, he wrote out the achievements and everything. Yeah, the sweet spot, tiebreaker, other situation. I don't see it on here right now.
Sweet spot bonus. All three
Found it.
discs, the
There you go.
handler and dog in the sweet spot at the tea and time.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so that one's not the roller. Maybe that's the next game.
Then it says right here, the sugar rush rule
There you
counts with the
go.
roller in the sweet spot at the tea and time, with the two other discs and dog in the sweet spot as well. So it's similar to like,
It's similar to the Sugar Rush for the four-way play.
yeah. So
But you can
basically, I would
also,
assume you would have to be standing in your throwing zone,
right,
roll it through the sweet spot.
through
You'd
the
have to
sweet
roll
spot
it, follow the roller,
and get
get
in
in the
there.
sweet spot as time expires. The disc would
Yeah.
have to leave the sweet spot after time expires and then go to the catch
To get to the
zone.
next catch
Yeah, so
zone.
that would be some pretty good timing to make that happen.
Yeah.
But it is possible.
That makes I mean, the Rush is not necessarily supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be a challenge, so that's fun.
Right.
But yeah, that's a pretty straightforward sweet spot bonus, three discs and the dog and the handler in the sweet spot at the TN time. So it's a very similar concept of four-way play, but it's like the previous game, it's kind of reversed. So our catch zones are now our throwing zones, but the catch zones are also still catch zones. We're just rotating the catch zone. So it's a little bit like level two four-way play in that we're moving the throw zone. But it requires a little more disc management. You only have three discs. And you got to keep track of what your throwing zones have been.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. I like it.
Yeah, I would definitely try this one out. I think it'd be fun to play this one. Looks cool.
All
All right.
right.
So
Are you ready?
Dre has a crossover game that she took a look at that she's going to share with us here. So
Yeah.
tell us about this one, Dre.
So this one is called the Fast Lane, and it has some really interesting challenges. It reminds me a little bit of Funky mixed with like Time Warp is kind of the feeling that I got from it. So it is a speed game, and the objective is to clear one of the obstacles and then a throw zone. So complete a jump catch pattern three times basically down the field. So you can work either side of the field. Like let's say you wanted to start on the left-hand side, you could do a jump on the left and then throw to the one zone. You could do a jump on the right then and then throw to the two zone and then a jump on the left and go to the three zone. But it's basically three of those combos on the way down. So a jump or a hoop. It could be jumps or hoops down the side. And then as a caveat, in the 30, 40 yard zone, you can swap out those hoops for weaves, or it could be weaves or hoops or tunnel, and it could be six weaves or 12 weaves, and that gives um, different point totals. But basically, the handler can't lead out; they have to handle from a distance. And the objective is to do the obstacle, and then a catch zone, obstacle, then a catch zone, obstacle, then a catch zone. And then they hit that tunnel in the back, and they have to charge back over all four obstacles on either side, doesn't matter which side they choose. as quickly as they can to get back behind the line. And then whatever time of the 60 seconds is left over would be points. So that's where it's kind of time warpy, is to like get back behind the line with time left over. Um, and then the handling part has kind of that funky feeling to it where you're doing an obstacle and then doing a jump. But it's more inside of a structure, a certain pattern. So you got to go down the field one, two, three with obstacle jump, or obstacle hoop, depending on what it is. And then again, in that 30 to 40 yard zone is where they can swap out the obstacles for different stuff if you wanted to have weaves there.
So so these hoops here,
Hmm.
I'm assuming are facing like the dog would come out of the tunnel and the hoop is not this way, it's
It
this
would be
way.
the
So
other
that
way.
means the dog would come out of the tunnel and have to kind of go through the hoop here, then
Yep.
over the
Jump,
jump, over
jump,
the jump,
and
and
then
then
hoop.
through the hoop here and out.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I was just
Yep.
wondering, yeah, because if the hoop was this way, it'd be a lot easier, right? Just
Yeah.
hoop, jump, jump, hoop, and out.
Yep.
Now, when you say I'm not allowed, I have to work my dog at a distance, does that mean I'm not allowed in these zones?
What I got is that you have to be able to handle it from a distance. So it says underlined, the handler cannot lead out. Teams must start behind the 0 yard line at the opposite end of the field from the tunnel. The
Okay.
handler cannot lead out.
But then, like, when I
Um,
go to put my dog through this jump, can I, like, walk right up to the jump if I need to, or do I have to stay in the bonus strip?
um, it doesn't say that you can move. Oh, there you go. Handlers can throw from anywhere on the field except for the zone they're throwing to. So it's just at the beginning you can't lead out.
But
Basically,
so
you
I
can't
can,
stand by the tunnel and handle your dogs from behind. You have to stand behind the throwing line. And then you can, once the dog breaks the throwing line, when time starts, you can move to handle them. You just can't lead out at the beginning.
okay, so I can run right up to this jump and
Yeah.
send my dog over the jump or whatever if I need to.
Yep.
All right.
And
Maybe level two would be staying in the bonus strip or something
yeah.
like
And then,
that.
if any bar drops, it's out, that kind of stuff, the usual. But the ending sequence should be jump, tunnel, and then jump, 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 jump in either jump or whatever equipment ends up being out there. But that straight line back has to be on one side, where on the way out, you have options that you can throw to. But on the way back, it has to be one of those that's where the fast lane name comes. It has to be one of those fast lane sides, one side or the other.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
and the handler needs to be behind the line at the end to stop time too. So if you choose to go down the field to work your dog to make the agility handling easier, you have to make your way across the line at the end.
And then all of the points left on the clock get added to your score like time warp, right?
Yep. Yep.
That's
Yeah, we
interesting.
have a stopwatch.
I'm just trying to think now, like how fast do I think somebody could do that?
Yep. Well, we can always have Babs do it. That's our good test. That's how we figured out all our other games.
Well,
Yeah, it does require some, I mean, it either requires some handler mobility or it requires distance work, that's the objective of the game is handling from a distance. So if you're a handler that needs to be closer, your time's going to be slower if you have limited mobility to get back across that line again.
yeah. And that's a pretty,
It's a
that's a
50
pretty
yard.
like
Yep.
50 yards, right? 50
Yep.
yards that you could possibly be going.
Yep.
Um, Interesting. All right. So that one's cool. That one's from Roe,
Hmm.
in Georgia. What's the name of his club again? Forest something or other.
Forest City Dog Sports or
Forest
Forest
City
City
Dog
Sport
Sports.
Dogs. Sport Dogs. Forest City Sport Dogs.
All right. So we
That
shared
one's interesting.
three games with you guys. The score sheets are in the folders as well as the rules. Everything is in PDF in the folders. I am going, sorry, let me stop sharing here and gather my thoughts before I keep rambling. All right, guys. So hopefully these three games have like whet your appetite and you're like, yeah, let me go check out these games and like see which one I want to do at my next event. Um, I know we're going to be playing one at our next event, so I'm not gonna tell you which one, but we are starting with one of the three that we talked about today. So we're gonna try it out. And I'm breaking the rules because I'm starting it before June 1st. But you know
Ooh.
what? I'm one of the founders,
You
so
can.
that's just
You
how
can
it
do it.
goes.
Yeah, I'm going
Yep.
to Reno this weekend, next weekend for a seminar. So I'm hoping to break out one of these in the Reno
Oh,
seminar.
that would be
But
really cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if Emily's cool with it, I'm going to PA the weekend after, so we can do another one then. So I'm hoping to just get some beta testing done, see what people like, get some feedback. Um,
So, where do you go to find these rules and get these score sheets? There is a folder in Club Resources called New Games Beta Testing. I am going to link the folder in this thread, and so you'll have it there as well. But if you get lost, if you go to the Club Resources folder, which I think almost anybody listening to this podcast should know how to get to the Club Resources folder. If you don't,
right,
it's on the regular website, the
main
Updog
website.
Challenge website. Um, the club resources folder, like I said, go to new game beta testing. And then in there, you will see a folder that says ready for beta testing. In the ready for beta testing folder, you'll see 14 folders. So each game has a separate folder. You have editing rights to to these folders. Do not take things out of the folders and
Yeah,
move
it's a
them around.
network folder.
If you do, I will know who you are because it will tell me so and so moved this or deleted this or whatever. Um, they are all PDF versions, so you can't type over them in the folder, but you can download them, print them out, things like that. In the folder, you will find a PDF of the rule document, a PDF of the score sheet, and then you will also find a Google Doc that is just a blank sheet. And that is titled, like for instance, for this one, it will be the name of this game is Fast Lane. So it would be titled Fast Lane Feedback. So if you read through this document and you have a question that is not answered in the rules, you can pull up the document and you can type in that document and say, "Hey, Ro, am I allowed to blah, blah, blah?" And you can type him a question. Leave it on the sheet. Ro will occasionally look at his document and answer your questions. When Ro types into the document, he will type in blue, like he will change the color of the print to be blue. So anything on a document that's written in blue would be from the original author. Anything in
Yeah.
black, which should be defaulted to when you start typing, would be people who have played the game or who have questions about it. So ask your questions on the feedback sheet. Once you play this great game, give Rose some feedback. Let him know, like, hey, we played it this weekend. We did 20 rounds. We loved it. Here are a couple questions that we had when we played, or here's an idea that we came up with when we played. We think it would be fun if you added this to the sweet spot bonus, or whatever it is. Let these creators know what you think of their games. They can then take that information back and make changes to their games. When they make changes, if they make significant changes, there will be a process that they know about to get to me their rule changes, and I can update the folders with rule changes. So, as a non-creator, all you need to know is go to the club resources folder, find the beta testing folder, download the rules and the score sheet, and if you have questions or feedback, type it in the document. Please, please, please do not delete anything. Do not do not
Just
move
download,
folders.
don't delete. Yeah.
Yeah, just download the PDFs and type into the document if you have feedback or questions for the creator. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. You guys have from June 1st all the way through the end of the year, so December 31st, to play around with these games, 14 different games. play around with them, give the creators feedback. At the end of the year, so sometime in the new year, I will have some sort of a survey slash voting that you guys will be able to tell us which games you liked the best, which games you'd like to see continue, and perhaps which game might become an official Updog game and be played at Updiff. Wouldn't that be amazing if
Yeah.
the community chose yours? All right, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you are the creator of the game and your game does get picked as the one to become something permanent in the Updog universe, we will find some way to
Reward
compensate
you.
you, reward you. Yes. Don't worry, you're not going to become like a millionaire or anything like that. But we want you to have recognition for it. Rather than us just pushing one of our new games on you, we thought this would be nice to involve the community. So we'll give you some recognition and we'll come up with something cool to reward you with. But that'll be down the road. Right now, let's get out there, beta test. We hope you have the opportunity to get out there and play Updog out in hopefully nice weather across the country. And Dre, in the meantime,
What up,
Be
dog?
kind to yourself and each other.
and be kind to your dogs. We will see you next time on The Sweet
You
Spot.
heard the buzz, heard the word on the street. Up dog challenge, it can't be beat. It ain't just fetch, it's a very special game for the dogs and the people. We all shout its name, whether it's a roller or in the air. My canine companion doesn't really care. We're in the up dog zone now. Got that laser focus, making every throw an epic high flying bonus. What's up, dog? We're on the field, sun in the sky, with my best friend soaring, teaching that just to fly. It's the up dog jingle, so come get in the mix for the ultimate teamwork and all the best tricks. From throw and go to freestyle, we're bringing the heat. We're fun, helpful, and a friendly team that can't be beat. So if you love your pup and you love to see the disc really spin, come on down to Up Dog, where the good times begin.
Yeah, where the good times begin.